Well guys, as promised, I'm starting to shoot some videos again, okay, after a long while. And I know it's kind of weird. I'm going to shoot an instructional video of jiu-jitsu with headphones on, but it's training time in the academy right now. Let's give it a try, see how it works. If it works, maybe in the future I use this method sometimes. I cannot now go and tell them like, hey guys, don't train. Anyways, long story short guys, I want to today shortly kind of elaborate a little bit on what I was telling you guys about hip escapes and everything. And I want to do this like kind of little hip escape review overall, right? So what is hip escape first? Let's talk about it like conceptually first. It's actually very simple. I'm on a point. I'm probably under some pressure and something, right? And I'm trying to escape my hip from the certain position. Because here's the danger. I kind of block that danger. I'm controlling his body weight. I don't allow his body weight on me. After I can stabilize my opponent's body weight over here, I move my hips away from that danger. So I have mobility in my hips, which I can later on use to recover my position or attack my opponent and that sort of thing. And that's basically what hip escape is. Moving your hip in and out actually, right? And then, okay, now let's have a look. What oftentimes we are taught, right, is a beginner. In many academies we see this approach. People put their feet on the ground and then they go like this, you know, and they go the other side, like this, right? Oftentimes they're gonna hold their breath and everything, you know. They're gonna go, you know, which is fine. Don't look at me laughing and stuff. It's okay. It's fine. I've seen so many times in the academy, you know, people come into the jiu-jitsu academy. They look very strong. They're very tough guys, man. You know, they're very physically gifted. They're very fit, you know. But it's just like they're not used to this kind of motion. So no matter how good they are in anything else that they do, they get onto the jiu-jitsu mats and when they do the hip escape, they act like, you know. But then sometimes they just, like I've seen this also a couple times. People push, but they just elevate their hips, but they don't really escape their hips, blah, blah. Because they are so tense, right? This is the thing we want to be in the future, okay? Like if you're natural enough with the jiu-jitsu moves that you're doing, the techniques are going to get easy on you. And this is just a short process. You don't have to do this from white belt to black belt. Until you get natural enough with certain basic movements, just keep doing this and keep getting better and better. Now, if at the beginning, if the hip escape that you do is really just like this, you know, it is fine. It is fine, but we will need to improve that in the future, okay? At least, like if you learn hip escape like this, at least you have learned that you keep your feet stable on the ground, you can move your hip away from the danger, and you can move out. Okay, but think about this. When do you ever use hip escape like this in rolling? Successful, like almost never. Look at me. But here is totally open. If the opponent wants to pass my guard, it's totally open. My arms are extended. I'm very susceptible to being submitted because this is my guard. Boxing has this guard. I have this guard, right? Like I'm totally exposed for submissions. My legs are totally exposed for passing. So this is a horrible posture to use in jiu-jitsu, okay? So we need to fix a few things when we do this motion. We never do this exaggerated hip escape. Actually, to be very honest with you guys, we never do a big hip escape in jiu-jitsu overall. Think about this. When do you really do this? I can tell you when not to use this, or when people use this often, but I actually, you know, get caught with different things. You know, they have a negative outcome. Let's put it this way. For example, people stay here first. They want to recover the guard, and then when they start getting past, the opponent starts moving from here. They put the feet on their hip escape and recover the guard. This, again, many people might do this, but it's a very bad way of recovering your guard. When you recover your guard, you have to keep your feet up and be mobile enough to, you know, do some mobility stuff from here and so on. Anyways, let's cut it short. What else can you think? Maybe people are just passing your guard like from a half guard or something. You want to protect yourself, you hip escape, right? And then you get submitted with like a torch, anaconda, or guillotine, whatever, right? Because I'm exposed. Look at my arms. This is my guard. Like one more time, I lose my guard already. So on and so on. So we never actually really do a big hip escape. But actually, even if you do the correct hip escape, we also don't do this like too much. You know, even let's say I'm trying to protect myself, my guard is in, I was stepping in the right position, I go up. We don't do this extent. Oftentimes what's going to happen is like I do a little bit out, a little bit in, you know, or variations of these moves, that sort of thing. We're not going to go so exaggerated. But if you get good at the motion itself, even with the exaggerated version of it, you know, in my opinion, you're going to notice you can use it in the smaller ways as well. Like so, like the karate, you do exaggerate motions, wah, wah, you know. But then when you fight, you just you know, hitting short, something like that. So try to get good in these movements, like with the hip escape too. Don't worry about using it in the warm-up, but eventually what I'm trying to say is we're not going to use this big hip escape so often while walking, you know, especially not doing guard recovery guys. It's very dangerous, and in many other positions too. Yeah, I know it's basic, it's important, so that's why it's basic. Like you need to know in certain positions how to move your hip in and out, but again, we don't exactly use the move as it is in our positions. So let's move forward now. Next topic, how can I actually do a better hip escape, right? Okay, you told me this hip escape is like not as good, you know, it's shit. How can I make it better? So, let's fix a few things. If this is the best you can do, hold your breath, you know, it's fine. Next time, try to keep your feet stable on the ground. Don't hold your breath so much. Try to do this slowly and more with control. Now, once you get good at that, let's stop extending our arms too much like this. We don't want to extend our arms. Imagine, this is our guard, right? When I keep escaping, I want to keep my guard intact. Start from here. Sometimes here, sometimes here, like you can, but just start from there. Keep your elbows in as you do the hip escape, okay? Let's start doing this next time. Okay? And now, once you feel comfortable with this, and you don't need weeks, months for this. You can get comfortable with this in just a few minutes, okay? Or like, I mean, a few days, doesn't matter. It's easy, don't worry. While just watching this video, you're gonna already finish learning. And if you feel this is easy, so now what we're gonna do, let's stop using both our feet. Oftentimes, we don't want to use both our feet with the same work in jiu-jitsu. So not both extended and both kicking. Oftentimes, if I, for example, I'm gonna hip escape from defensive position, let's say like that, I'm gonna put this foot on the ground, and then this foot is gonna do something else. So for example, blocking this to here, because it's my guard, right? I'm blocking my body. I don't allow things to touch my body. My feet together here, so I can move in and out. So if I'm here, for example, I can move like this. That is with just one foot here. No problem. But you feel good enough with this? Let's change the foot. Let's do the same thing with this foot elevated, more like a guard recovery from short range kind of thing. Let's keep this one elevated and put this one on the ground. Okay? Here. This one on the side. This one on the ground. This one on the ground. You see what I mean? If you can, definitely toes are on the ground. Like, not necessarily putting the side of the heels on the ground like this or like this. My movement comes from the toes. You need to get good on putting the toes on the ground. Okay? And making my toes and hips work together. Move left and right. I'm going to show more videos on this in the future as well. But anyways, so eventually, let's add one more detail on top. Once you feel like this is comfortable as well, you can do the hip escape with just one foot on the ground. Add this detail on top as well. Make sure you're stepping as close to your hip as possible, sometimes even going beyond that. So not only here, but even outside a little bit. So when you do the hip escape, you can go much more. Okay, for example here, stepping almost outside. If I do the other foot, it's the same thing. Don't step here, don't step here. Step close and then start moving. You're going to notice I can move much more. Okay, so overall, these are some details for you. Let me do the whole thing a couple times. For example, here, here. Can be smaller versions. You can change your foot, okay? Okay? Something like that. And once you make sure, like, okay, you understand the move now, and how can you go beyond that? How can you get better? Try to get, like you said, natural on the moves. Try to get to a level where these moves aren't so hard for you anymore. You know, you don't like you're not holding your breath, you're not sweating like crazy, you're not like spending so much energy. You're able to do the move backwards, the normal, and backwards. You can do half, you can give up on the way half, and you can come back here again. You can just do a little, or get big. Or you can anytime stop the move, go back and forth, that sort of thing. Once you feel so natural and this becomes natural to you, next time when you're learning, let's say a half guard, and your coach tells you, okay, you need to do a little hip escape there, it's going to be natural for you. You're not going to think, how can I hip escape from there? Where am I going to step, you know? No, it's easy move for you anyways. Right? Like think, you don't know how to walk or run, and then you try to play basketball. Like you will not be able to focus on how you dribble the ball or how to shoot because you don't know how to walk. You're constantly thinking about how am I going to walk and do this at the same time. But if walking or running and jumping are natural to you, now you can focus on the dribbling part of basketball. Does it make sense? Anyways, guys, this is a little analysis of hip escape. I'm just talking about everything just once and passing through, okay? If anything is not clear, just rewind or fast forward and just watch it again, okay? And if some stuff is not clear still, try to ask me some questions and I'm gonna answer. So overall, try to get really good with all the moves, try to break them down like this, try to make sure all the details are correct. Keep doing them over and over again until they feel very natural and comfortable for you. And Jiu-Jitsu is going to get much easier for you, especially for white belts and maybe blue belts, okay? Don't worry, you'll need to just do these for a short time. In the future, you're not going to do this anymore. When you're a black belt, these things are already going to be natural for you. So this is only for a short period. You have to do these and get good at these for your body movements. But in the beginning, it will help you a lot because it's very possible some of you guys might have some problems controlling your bodies and you think they're not skilled enough or just it's too hard. Not really. It's just you don't know how to control your body. Once you tackle that down, everything's gonna get much easier. Okay, guys? Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you in the next video. Take care.